Yeah, we had just came out of a meeting then, so I had a pretty good chat about it this morning, and it's something that we know it's a long tournament, and like you mentioned, yeah, it's not ideal to start the way we have, but there's some really good things that we have been doing, both with the bat and with the ball at various points in each of the games. So we're focusing on those at the moment, making sure that we are addressing those little bits and pieces that we know we need to get better at. But there's still a lot of positivity in the group, and knowing that once things start to click a little bit more for us, we'll be right in the business for it.
So there's still confidence that you can sort of put together, like you said, you've batted well at times and bowled well at times, but it hasn't sort of come together all at once. There's confidence that will happen?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a lot of experience in the group, and we've got a lot of talent in the group as well. So we're very confident that once we start to play those more complete games, we'll be starting to get the ball rolling, and hopefully that's as soon as our first couple of games after Christmas.
I'm sure you'll get a lot of questions about DRS, but I was just wondering, where do you stand on introducing it into the Big Bash, especially following yesterday's decision for Usman Khawaja?
Yeah, I think if it's possible to get the best possible technology in with the DRS, then it'd be a great addition to the competition. Understand there's obviously a few factors that are going into the decision to make that happen, but yeah, personally, if it's possible, I'd like to see it happen.
And just the last one from me. I think Jason Roy and Liam Livingston joined the squad on Boxing Day. Are they available for Monday's game? And what will they bring to the squad?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're out of quarantine and they'll be available for our games in Adelaide. So that's going to be really exciting. What they bring is, again, a bit of experience, but also some serious power hitting at the top. And that's something that we're looking forward to welcoming them into the squad. And I'm pretty sure they're excited to get out of quarantine as well. So they'll be chomping at the bit to play some cricket and no doubt put their best foot forward as well.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Jordan, over to you.
G'day, Jason. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. Congrats on the new arrival, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
How has the last week and a bit been for you, mate? You obviously played your first game in 673 days, then a cross-country dash, and then, obviously back into it last night. Talk us through your past week and a bit.
It's been one of the more hectic weeks of my life, put it that way. So there was no chance I was going to miss the opening game of the tournament, and something I've been working so hard to get back for. So really pleased I was able to do that. And then on the family side, to be able to get back to the birth of my second child, Levi, was a very special moment, and one that I'm forever grateful for, that I'm in a position where I was able to do that, to be there not only for my wife, but also to be there for my family in general was really special and important. And I really cherished those few days I had at home to spend with them and make sure everything was okay, or as as okay as you can be with a newborn, not getting much sleep and things like that. So trying to really look after Javel as much as possible. And then, to get the opportunity to come back and play here in Canberra. I love coming back home, and it's been, again, a privilege to be able to do that, to become in and out of the bubble in that sense. And to be able to play cricket, do what I love doing. And now I get to go back home again this afternoon, which will be great, and see them again for a couple of days before we get into Adelaide as well.
How much of a boost is that for the team? Mitch mentioned it last night that, the majority of the squad will get to see their families and everything before the next leg of the trip. How much of a boost is that, especially over Christmas? Yeah,
it's huge. And we know we're in a very fortunate position to do that. So that's something, again, we don't take for granted. With the current climate, there's so many unknowns and so many things that can change at the drop of a hat. So we're very fortunate, and looking forward to spend a couple of days refreshing and getting away from cricket for a couple of days.
How important is the next leg of this tournament? Do you feel like it could be season over if you do leave Adelaide empty-handed? And I guess how much of a missed opportunity would that be with the home leg of the tournament coming up in the new year?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's season over if we come home empty-handed. Obviously, to put a bit of a dent into the way we want to go about the tournament, but I've sort of alluded to it before, that we're not far off playing some really good cricket. And that's something that, we feel like we're very close. So expect a very energised group to come back into Adelaide. We'll all have a couple of days off, like I mentioned, and sort of mentally refresh more than anything, and just get ready to charge into Adelaide and put everything on the table there. So, we'll be looking forward to a couple of strong performances in Adelaide, and then going back to Perth post that, a bit of momentum, will carry a lot of weight. Hopefully get a huge crowd at Optus Stadium for us in Perth, and then we can really bring the house down over back home again.
And how's Josh Inglis going after last night? Obviously, a tough night for him, a single-digit score and that drop catch. Did the boys kind of get around him after last night? We obviously know what he's capable of, but probably just one of those nights for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't quite go to plan for Ingo last night. I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself, more so than anyone else, and that's what I think frustrated him. He knows how good he is, and to not do what he wanted to do and I guess perform the way he wanted to last night was frustrating for himself. But yeah, as a group, of course, we got around him. No one wants to fail. No one wants to do poorly. So we all go out there to do our best. And unfortunately, it didn't work for Ingo last night in some capacity. But yeah, we're all around him and supporting and know that he'll be bouncing back and doing everything he can to be as best as he possibly can be for Adelaide.
Perfect. Thanks, Jason.
No worries.
Thanks, Jordan. Caitlin, over to you.
Hey, Jason. Welcome back home.
Oh no, that's
Sorry, Matt. We can't quite hear you there. Do you mind having another?
You got me now?
Yeah.
Hey, okay. I think I'm good now. Obviously, a fair bit of travel for you, like you mentioned. Were you ever going to miss this game back here at home?
I'd like to say no, but there was a thought that crossed my mind at one stage to stay home with my family. But the overriding factor was that I love playing cricket and I love playing for the Scorchers, and I've worked my backside off to get back playing cricket. So to play as much cricket as possible was really important for me and also for the team. I'm very fortunate to be involved in such a great franchise. So I wanted to get back and I guess do everything I could to be available as often as I could be for them. And also knowing that it was only a couple of days. So it would have been probably a different story if I was having to jump back on the road for another 6 weeks or something and not see them for an extended period. But yeah, I'm fortunate to go home and see them in the next sort of 12 hours or so. So that'd be very nice as well.
Did you get a chance to wave to the family here in Canberra over the fence from a distance at all last night?
Yeah, so I've had a little socially distanced hello, which is, I guess as best as we can hope for at this stage. But no, it was really nice to see them. Had some friends in the crowd as well last night, and even heard my little goddaughter cheering from me from the sidelines. So she was having a great time watching the game as well, which is really exciting.
A couple of years since you've had that chance to play here, and with all the comeback from the back surgery and things like that, did you think you'd get a chance to be back here? Like, how much do you take every game now, as something special, considering what you've been through to stay on the field?
Yeah, I certainly don't take anything for granted anymore. Even get a bit nervous now sometimes as well with some of the games, knowing I guess how much I've had to go through and how much hard work I've put in to get back out there, and really enjoying every moment of it. Obviously, Big Bash cricket's exciting at the best of times, but it's also a pretty high pressure environment. So to try and sort of strip that back occasionally and just take a moment, take a breath, and try and smile and enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun, and I'm very fortunate to do what I get to do. And to play here in Canberra in front of potentially a home crowd still is really exciting, and to get my friends and family to come down was awesome to see them over the fence and cheering me on, which was really nice.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Caitlin. Mark Reddings, do you want to jump in?
Yes, mate, got you. Jason, just going back to the DRS, you're obviously an advocate for it, given what's happening in the Big Bash. Can you give us an idea of what you would like to see? One review, an innings or two innings, and off the back of that, in terms of the IPLs and Big Bash equivalents around the world, where do we sit with regards to having the video at disposal?
Yeah, I think it's probably you can probably look at something like a one review per team. And again, similar into international cricket, if it's an umpire's call or something like that, you can chain your review. And that's something I think it will hopefully benefit the game if we do go down that path and have a chance to introduce that. Not exactly sure the timeline or how it would work or anything like that, Mark, but other competitions in the world have put it in place as well from what I can understand, and it seems to be working reasonably well. So I think if it's possible to get the best form of the technology there, that'd be great, but also whichever way they potentially lean towards, if we can have it in, would be a benefit. So Yeah, it's something that I think would be a very important addition into Big Bash cricket, and yeah, I guess we'll see where it goes from here.
And just one more on that, Jace. On a slightly lighter note, the audio and the commentary from last night. I'm not sure if you heard AJ. His chat with the umpire afterwards, and it was it sounded quite restrained. I'm not sure if you had listened to it, but he held his nerve pretty well, where others going back a few years might have spat the dummy completely.
Yeah, he certainly did. I was actually standing at mid-off or mid-on when that happened. So I clearly also, as much as the stump mic, heard every word that AJ said. And I actually commented to him on the bus on the way home. I said, "You've done really well not to use expletives and use any other words that could potentially be a lot more destructive to the spirit of the game, but also he might have found himself missing a couple of games or something like that for using foul language." So yeah, he's done well to restrain himself. Obviously a frustrating situation, but something that it happens. Everyone's human. Yeah, no one likes to make mistakes, obviously, and that's something that we've moved on pretty quickly from, and we're looking forward just to continue to try and play some good cricket going forward.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jace.
Thanks, Mark. Lockie Reid.
Okay, sorry, just another one on that, and I suppose you did mention the frustration, but how does a team respond when something like that happens, and especially at the end of the game when, you know, it was such a close result and things could have very much changed?
Yeah, I think we were fortunate in that sense that Uzi hit one up maybe the next over or a couple overs later. So in that sense, it didn't cost us too much. But yeah, I can certainly understand the frustration of if someone gets given out or not out, sorry, on naught, and then goes on to make 50 or 60 and is the match winner. It's a very frustrating and hard thing to accept at times. But again, like I mentioned before, everyone's human and sometimes mistakes are made and you just got to move on. That's the nature of the beast. And yeah, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. And we're the same as players. Like, we don't execute everything perfectly all the time. So it's, yeah, something you just have to understand. There's always going to be a human element there.
Beautiful, mate. Congrats too.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.